Hello, BookTube. I mentioned last week during Weekly Reads that I had 6 packages of books out. And all of them came in, so this is my August book haul. I got 4 more books in than I'd originally had planned for. Last month was ridiculous, and this month was equally ridiculous, although not so much for the price tag. But I'm quite pleased with the books I got, and yeah, so I really shouldn't be complaining about the number of books I'm getting in if I'm actually enjoying getting them in. So let's get started. So a lot of the books for this haul I ordered through Alibris. Alibris is I guess you could say an aggregate, conglomerate bookseller website in which a number of independent sellers and not so independent sellers can pretty much set up stores, and you can buy books from the individual sellers. So a number of the let me rephrase. So this month I did buy a number of books from sellers new to me, and so far they've all been really good in the quality and the packaging, so I'm looking forward to shopping with them again in the future, though not entirely sure when. But anyway, let's get started. So the first 3 books make up the first package I got in this month, and that is the package that I complained about a few weeks ago, in which the expected delivery date was on a Tuesday, but the package sort of went through the local distribution post office on a Saturday, and it was actually out to the local post office, but somehow or other ended up overshooting or got misplaced or something happened, and I ended up not getting the book until the day after the expected delivery date. But they did come in, and I'm quite happy with them. They are 3 volumes in Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic manga series by Shinobu Ohtaka, which from now on I'm just going to refer to them as Magi, because it's a lot easier than just going with the full name. So I picked up volumes 3, 4, and 5. Magi is a manga series. It's a shonen manga about a young wizard named Aladdin who travels across a world inspired by the Middle East and the 1001 Nights, looking to make friends. And as he makes friends, he gets in all sorts of adventures. And I've really fallen in love with the series since I started it a few months ago during my first big manga madness book haul in June. And I've been slowly picking up more volumes, which I'll talk about later on because I got some more. So the next order I got from Owls through Alibris. Owls is one of the... Oh, I forgot to mention. So these 3 came from ARC Foundation, which is a charitable thrift store, bookstore in Ventura, California. So getting back to the next package or order, I got these from Owls. Owls is one of my reliable ones. I typically buy with them. Owls, Discover, and Hippo all have relatively cheap books. A lot of them are like $1.45. So I do shop with them quite frequently. Although one of the problems is while the quality is good, there's a strong chance the books will be ex-library, which in this particular order, 2 of the books are. So, first up are a few more manga volumes. This is Fullmetal Alchemist Volume 10 by Hiromu Arakawa. Fullmetal Alchemist is about the Ulrich brothers, who are 2 young alchemists who, after trying to resurrect their mother through a forbidden alchemical ritual, Edward lost his leg, and Alphonse, the younger brother, lost his whole body, and then Edward lost his arm to, or sacrificed his arm to, inscribe his brother's soul into a metal suit of armor. They have gone on a quest for the Philosopher's Stone, which is said to be able to bypass the laws of alchemy so that they can restore themselves. And as they journey, they stumble upon a long-running conspiracy that has them very much in the center. And I love this series, and I'm looking forward to picking up more volumes in the upcoming months, which I'll talk about once I finish this haul and look forward to September. So next up are 3 volumes from Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle, which I've talked about quite a bit. Tsubasa by Clamp is their big crossover manga series that sees a lot of different iterations of their long-running characters. So I picked up Volume 3, Volume 8, which is an ex-library copy. It came from Anaheim Public Library in Anaheim, California, and Volume 11. I also picked up 2 Victorian novels. The Mill on the Floss by George Eliot. I first encountered this book 20 odd years ago. There was a BBC adaptation which was later rebroadcast on Masterpiece Theatre. And I watched part of it and decided I wanted to read the book. So I bought the book, but then I didn't get too far in, so I eventually purged it, but I really wanted to come back to it ever since, and I kind of thought maybe October would be a good opportunity to have another go at Mill on the Floss. And this one came from Wildwood Secondary Library, wherever that is. And the last book from this order was another Victorian novel, Anthony Trollope's The Way We Live Now, which I picked up largely on Steve Donahue's love of Anthony Trollope. So I'll probably pick one of them, or if I pick up any more Victorian lit before October, and I'll pick one to read. And hopefully I'll like it. Next up are the 2 history books I picked up for this order, both through Alibris and Sellers New to Me. First up is The Rise and Fall of Ancient Egypt by Toby Wilkinson. This is a fantastic history of ancient Egypt. And I picked it up from Magi and Quinn in Minneapolis. And I've wanted this copy or this book for a number of years. I read it several years ago and quite liked it, and I've wanted it in my collection ever since. And having read and loved Toby Wilkinson's most recent book, World Beneath the Sands, I said that was a good time to hop on it, particularly since the copy from Magi and Quinn was not that expensive. And another book I picked up that I've wanted for ages, and I'm overjoyed to have it in my collection finally, is Life and Society in the Hittite World by Trevor Bryce. This is a kind of a companion volume to his Kingdom of the Hittites. And I've wanted a copy of this book for ages, but I've never been able to find a really decently priced copy. Copies of this book usually run in the 30s or 40s. So I saw a decent copy, pretty good copy, and well priced from the Friends of the Fort Bragg Library in Fort Bragg, California, and I decided to pick it up. And happy to have it. And I think this one actually had a bit of the same problem of like overshooting, maybe. I know one of the later ones actually had a similar like overshooting when I should have gotten it the day before I got it, a few days before I got it. But anyway, so the next batch of books came from Alibris itself. They have a deal where if you spend like $39 or more, you can get free shipping. So I took advantage of that. And 6 manga volumes. I picked up volumes 6 and 7 of Magi by Shinobu Ohtaka. Which I'm quite happy. Just a bit disappointed that I'm probably going to have some trouble with Magi volumes 8 and 9, but I'll talk about that in a few minutes. I also picked up Fairy Tale volumes 2, 3, and 4. Very, very happy to have them. I'm annoyed with myself that I haven't actually made more of an effort to pick them up. Fairy Tale is my favorite manga series. It's by Hiro Mashima. It's about Natsu Dragneel and Lucy Heartfilia, and their friends in the Fairy Tale Wizards Guild and their adventures. And the last book from this order I picked up is The Seven Deadly Sins by Nakaba Suzuki, which I recently read last year and quite enjoyed, and decided I really wanted to add them. So that fills up the manga. The next book I picked up is actually from the first order of books I made this month. I ordered them from a book depository, which, as much as I love them, the time it takes to actually get the books is rather frustrating, and this month was particularly frustrating. But I'm very happy to have both books, although the second book in this order is actually coming at the end, and there's a bit of a rant for that one. So I picked up Priest of Gallows by Peter McLean. This is the concluding volume in his War for the Rose Throne series, which tells the story of Thomas Piety, who is a ex-soldier, a priest of a war goddess, and kingpin in his home city of Ellenberg. I love the series. Unfortunately, though, the series its American publisher ended up canceling the trilogy at 2 books. But fortunately, his British publisher continued with the concluding volume, so I picked it up from a book depository, and the fact that his American publisher did cancel the trilogy at a duology infuriates me, but that is one of the issues with science fiction and fantasy and the tendency to write to series, is that there's a tendency for science fiction and fantasy fans to maybe pick up the first book and like it, but then wait till the entire series is finished before they pick up volumes 2 to whatever, which tells the publisher that the book's actually not doing as well as they'd hoped, and end up canceling the series before it's through, or transitioning from hardcover to trade paperback releases, which happened to several book series. So anyway, but I'm looking forward to getting to Priest of Gallows after rereading Priest of Bones and Priest of Lies, which I might talk about a bit more on Weekly Reads later on tonight. The next order came from Powell's, City of Books in Portland, the storied independent bookstore, and one of my favorite bookstores of all time. I decided I wanted to shop with Powell's so I could pick up this new release in August, and that is the Maleficent 7 by Cameron Johnston. This is basically a fantasy version of the Magnificent Seven, in which 7 villains protect a town against even worse threat. And I am very looking forward to this book. I read his earlier books, The Traitor God and The God of Broken Things, and although this is a new either standalone or a new series, I am very much looking forward to this book. In the same order, I picked up Son of the Storm by Suyi, Davies, Okungbowa, which I'm quite looking forward to reading in the coming weeks and months. And this is the beginning of a new series. And finally, the second book from my book depository order. So, I should have gotten this book in with Priest of Gallows, because they ended up going through the shipper that book depository uses to get it from basically through the United States to the local post office. Unfortunately, this part of my order ended up accidentally going to Mableton, Georgia for a little bit before eventually getting to me. So fortunately it came in today, and I'm quite thrilled. I was afraid it was going to take a few more weeks, because it does tend to take a while with this particular seller. But it came in today, so I'm quite happy. And that is The Boundless by Peter Newman. This concludes his Deathless trilogy, and I'm quite happy to have it, and I am looking forward to having a go at the entire series. So, that was my August book haul. Quite happy with the books I got. Looking forward to reading a lot of them in the not too distant future. Now comes the part where I really am not looking forward to, and that is putting them on the shelves, particularly the science fiction books, because I've got a lot of them. They are organized alphabetically, so that means I'm going to have to redo the entire shelves, starting with J. Oh well. It's fun and exercise, so positives. So next month, in September, I'm definitely going to be picking up more manga. I've already done my first order for September, and they're going to be more manga. Fullmetal Alchemist. I am going to keep looking out for more volumes of Magi. I don't know necessarily if I'm going to stick to my chronological approach, because, like I mentioned earlier, volumes 8 and 9 are a bit difficult to find right now. There's only one copy on a Libris for volume 8, and that's like $20 from the UK, and I'm not going to be spending that for that book. No. So hopefully another copy will come available, and I'll kind of catch it in time. I had a similar issue with volume 2, and this is something that's kind of happening with manga lately. A number of series and volumes are rather difficult to find. I know I've been wanting to pick up some Toa about Hanako-kun, and volume 2 and 3 are incredibly difficult to find right now at a reasonable price. So anyway, I'm also thinking of leaning towards getting some more science fiction and fantasy. I have a desire to pick that up. History, there's one pre-order. I had two, but I canceled one because I think I'm going to try to wait until I can get like a more reasonably priced copy. One of the issues with picking up more history, particularly new releases, is that they are expensive, far more expensive typically than fiction. So, and I need to really pre-order history books and not just wait till later. So I'm kind of unsure about that, which we might talk about in the coming weeks, maybe next month's book haul, depending on how I feel. I do tend to like to sort of play things as they go instead of just having like a grand plan. But anyway, I do expect by the end of the year to probably have over 900 books in my collection. I'm thinking this month I should be hitting either 840 or 850. I don't know. I'll let you know during weekly reads after I've put all of my books into my catalog. I also might be looking for more Victorian lit and maybe some general fiction or literary fiction or something, or whatever strikes my fancy. We'll find out next month with September's book haul. But anyway, BookTube, I'm going ahead and sign off for now and go ahead and get this uploaded, get the books in my catalog, and go and sort them and put them where they need to go. So until later this evening with my weekly reads, thank you, BookTube. Have a great afternoon, and please stay safe.